So the shops, you can't see it in mine because I don't have the essential shop anymore. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to load up my phone. I'm going to do a screen grab of it so I can actually take a picture of the essential shop, which is still in this version. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what that looks like and what you can get in it. So I'm going to go to shots. I'm going to do 2 screenshots. Oh, this is essential. I know it's not taking the shot. Cancel. Hey, how do you do screenshots again? So I'm not used to having let me see, is it? Okay, that's how you do it. I haven't used an iPad or something with a actual button on it in a while. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna move over to photos, and I'm gonna send that photo to myself just so I can show you all the shops that exist, because I just don't have this anymore on mine. So I just want to be able to show it to you too. So I'm gonna send it to AirDrop, and I'm sending it to my iPad Pro. Okay. So that should have sent. Okay. So this is the way it basically breaks down. With you starting the game, you're gonna basically see an essential shop. The essential shop has a lot more items. Some of them have already been bought. And if you look at it, here is there, every item in the essential shop is at a reduced price, either 25 or 50, I believe. And the idea is they give you 500 quints when you start out, so you get a chance to buy a lot of stuff there. Like one of the best weapons that my nephew usually plays in this account is the Heretic. It's one of the best heavy weapons in the game, and that's even before 0.7, which where they push a lot of where they push it to the point where heavies are the strongest things there is. So probably the next time we might see a patch or an update will be sometime in January, because Apple and Google has basically stopped for the holidays. So even if the guys at MCMC wanted to push another patch, it ain't happening. So they actually have to wait. So it gives them a break. So maybe they'll be playing a little bit more instead of trying to work on the stuff that you see, trying to push out a patch all the time. The thing they're also working on is trying to get voice chat in. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a super big fan of voice chat because it's kind of distracting. The other thing too is the ping is cool unless you have a ping ping commander, basically a person who's basically pinging all over the map, but yet there are objectives on the map that should have been taken like super early in the game that are still just sitting there, but yet they're pinging all the time. Like I'll come into games and Imperial Guardians are still there, these big guards that are super strong that are in the early game. And the logical thing, if you're ever playing Eventide, is you get rid of those things within the first 5 minutes. Both sides. You want to both, if both teams aren't getting rid of both of those Imperial Guardians, you already know who's going to kind of lose this game. Because if you let the Imperial Guardians stay in Final Harvest, it's a nightmare. You just basically decrease the amount of outposts you can get to help you win the Final Harvest by 2. So if you come into a game and the score is really high on one side and super low on another, and you see those Imperial Guardians, you might as well leave that game if you're on the team where your side hasn't taken out the Imperial Guardians. You're not going to win. You're just not going to. You're not. And the reason is those things are worth about 2,000 a piece. Usually if those aren't gone, that also means the overseer isn't gone either. That's another 5,000 points. So if you have almost 9,000 points still sitting in the screen at the end of the game or in the final phase of the game, it's like it's not gonna work out very well. It's just not. So the essential shop, they put in about 6 to 8 items. I don't remember how many it is because it's been so long since I've used it, that you can buy for cheap with the 500 quints that they give you when you start, and then they also give you 200 marks. And then you were able to buy a variety of stuff. But what's really cool too is the fatui, or the the first time user experience that they created. Now when you do these little tutorials that show you how the game modes play, you actually get items too. So you get 3 items there, and then you have this shop where you can actually buy a bunch of items too. So you can have a really good amount of items when the game starts. You can have like 6 or 7 items, like maybe even 8 items comfortably just before you start playing the game. So that's what's kind of cool about it. Once you're able to put money into it, then you can actually translate that into actual quints, and then you can get more stuff that way a little bit faster. But the essential shop is a bunch of really cool different types of equipment and items that you can get, that you can help build up your inventory when you start in the game. Like really cool things that are definitely in there are the Primal Eye sniper rifle, the Objection Heavy sniper rifle, which is a really good one. There's a bunch of really good stuff in there. So you get those things and you practice with them and you start seeing how they play. You can actually have a lot of really cool weapons to work with, even just starting out from scratch. So that's what's kind of neat about that. So I'm gonna go back into the actual game itself. Let me just hear how it sounds. All right, so the next shop that you'll see is something called the new shop. It kind of explains itself. They added in, I believe, somewhere between 12 to 14 new items, like right away. It was 7 guns, 4 abilities, and 2 trinkets. So like 13 items. That's 4 plus 6, yeah. So it was 13 items. And what they do is they created something called new gear shop. So they go when a new set of standard gear is released, you'll get 20% sale at this shop until the next set of standard gear arrives, which will then be moving to the rotating shop. So this stuff will stay here until the next set of new weapons and abilities and stuff that they have planned arrives. So you have some time for that. Rotating shop. So what rotating shop is, what a stinker. So a rotating shop, like, look at all the random mod packs I have. How utterly useless is this? What's cool about the rotating shop is every weapon and every item in the game is available in the rotating shop. They'll either appear in these the second and third slot as priced in quints, and they can appear in the third and fourth slot priced as marks. And then what you have is, these are standard things that never change really. Random mod pack in the back, the last 2 slots, random mod pack in the quints, that's always the same. That never changes from what I've seen so far. And then you have a really cool deal one that is marked based also, but it gives you a lot of stuff for just marks themselves. Like if you look at this, for 500 you can get 150, right? If you multiply that by 4, you can actually get 600 marks if you hit this deal 4 times, versus spending the same amount in one shot and just getting 400 quints. Here you can actually get 600 quints by doing this deal 4 times. The only thing is it's random. It takes a while to rotate back. It's not always there. So that's the key about it. You actually have to go through and wait for it to return before you can actually get it. Or if you're not gonna wait and you have your $20 been in a hole in your pocket, boom, just buy it right there and you're good to go. So that's how that basically works. So every item in the game will eventually rotate through the shop. That's what they mean. So when stuff is not in the new shop, it's gonna be added to the list of stuff that rotates. The biggest problem with the shop, if you're talking about quality of life and user experience, is there is no timer for it. The fact that you don't know when it's going to rotate is really infuriating, because there are times where it looks like it stays for more than a day, and there are other times where it looks like it changes every day. Like today it changed. The day before, I waited about a day, almost 2 days before it changed again, and I kept on restarting the app and whatever. So that's one of the things that is simple enough. Just simply add a timer so you know when your next shop change is gonna happen. Because look, there's a timer right here. There's a timer right there. There's also a timer here. So why isn't there a timer right here in this shop also? Just so you know. So it's not confusing. Like, I don't know when it changes. Sometimes it changes at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it changes at 10 a.m. Sometimes it changes at 7. Like, I don't know when it changes. And I don't know what causes it to change, because I don't know how much time is left in the shop. So I don't know when it's going to update again. So it just needs a timer. So that's how that basically works. Then the next thing that you have in your shop is the chest. I covered them a little bit yesterday. The thing about the chest is, so I'll just let you see their rate. Traveler's chest is cheaper. It's only $200, and you'll see that you get 360 dust no matter what. You'll get one random mod. You have a 2%, a 20%, 22% chance of getting a rare, a 1.3% chance of getting a epic, 0.6 of legendary, 40% chance of rolling it for gear that you use in your last loadout, 60% chance of rolling any gear you own. Well, that explains why I always keep getting gear, stuff I own, and barely they really should flip that. It should be 60 for the gears that you last used or currently using, and 40% of anything you own. It should always be geared more towards what you're using, because that makes more sense. But yeah, they have it flipped. 6% chance of near gear, 1% chance of a new mask. So I am one of the most unluckiest people when it comes to these random number generator type things like that. This never works out for me. Then you have your gold key, which is 10 times more than a traveler's key. And you notice that you get 10 times more. I mean, look at that. Like 100 times more dust. You're going to get 2 epic mods or better. 4% legendary. Same thing with the gear. 100% chance of new gear. 10% chance of a new mask. So that's how that basically works. Does not drop duplicates. And when you see this amazing little option here, mask does not drop duplicates, it would have been nice if that was true earlier in the game, because look what I have. A duplicate mask. This is one of the things that like this game cannot go live with this duplicate issue still active. It's so frustrating. It is so annoying. It's one of the things I hate currently in the game, because I have duplicate powers, duplicate leap attack, 1 level 2, 1 level 20, and I have duplicate relics, 1 level 3, 1 level 20. Why is that level 3? I didn't realize that whenever you get something new, it's the first thing that you have. And there were periods of times where your mods, where stuff would get they would get basically unequipped, and you got to re-equip them. And then what would happen is this one is the newest one, so I didn't realize that I was leveling these up. So it took me a little longer to level up my actual Fear Inspiration and my Leap Slam, because I spent maybe about 120 XP on the dupes. So yeah, but yeah, that's how that basically works. I've tried these chests because um, two guildmates of mine tried it and they got Torden out of it, and I was like, oh man, maybe it's a chance for me to get Torden also. I was never that lucky. It's the same thing about Vainglory, SEMC's other game, when they created the rainbow scarf white skin, white cat skin. I was like, oh man, I want to get that. I bought ice for my daughter and I bought ice for myself. I spent like 8 or 9, like almost $8 or $9 of ice. Never got it. My daughter bought her ice, $5 for her. She got it in the first try. So me, I I have no love for these things. I'd rather buy the things I want outright. If I'm willing to spend the money, I'll spend the money. But these chances, they don't work. They never work out for me. So I'm not gonna waste time. Then what you have is a boost that you can get. One of the things that I still don't agree on is you only get boost for weapons that are at level 20 only if you buy this 30-day boost, and the price of the 30-day boost is $15. I personally cannot justify spending $15 on a mobile game. It's just this thing I have. And mentally spend, believe it or not, I could spend almost 3 times as much money if it was under $10. I could easily do it. If it was $5, $7, and I would get a 10-day boost for 7, I might do that. I could spend even 14 getting 20-day boost. The reason is, if it's me spending the money under 10, it's easier for my brain to process that than for me spending $15, even though it's a better deal. It's just that I can't do it. Like, it's a game. $15. What? Are you crazy? Like this $25 one, that's never gonna happen. Ever. I ain't ever doing that. Ever. So, like, even this, I don't like this deal because I play a lot. So I get a lot of, like, the problem is, it's not enough quests to make this valuable. If there were like 8, 9 quests that I could do in a day, and I would be getting dust and quints from all the quests that I was doing, then if it's over 30 days, this thing makes sense. But you're telling me I'm only doing it for two quests, 6 out of the 7 days of the week, and I get 1 extra day where I have an extra quest. This doesn't make sense to me. Get quints. Spend up to $20 and get yourself 400 quints. Why waste your time doing this? Like, I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, I would never do that. It doesn't make sense to me. I would put my money in marks and wait for the rotating shop to give me deals like that. I think that's more cost effective. So I'm just being serious. Like, the biggest mistake about it is, I think that there should be more options. They should break it down to less. There should be $1 option or a $2 option that gives you 10 days, a $3 option that gives you 15 days. Because the reason is, when you break it down into that, it's more expensive. It's more, or $250 for 10 days, $350 for 15 days. Why did I just do that? So if you buy it as 2 separate things, it's gonna cost you $7. If you buy it as 3 separate things, it's gonna cost you $7. Like, it's gonna cost you more buying it in different ways, or even $3 for one for 10 days, $4 for 15 days, or $350 for 15 days or like four, whatever you come up with. It's just to make it that if you buy it in smaller amounts, it's a little cheaper, but it's going to wind up costing you more. That's the point. That's what it is. It's always cheaper to buy it in larger amounts, but it gives you multiple choices. And if let's say you said 10 days for $1, or you sell 10 days for $2.50, and you sell the other one for $3, it's still gonna work out in the long run where the person's gonna wind up paying more. And that's really all we're trying to get to happen. This is a deal. The others are cheaper. You can get something, but you don't have to spend as much. And I think, believe it or not, those would work out better, because people would say, yeah, okay, maybe I'm not going to be able to pay this for 30 days. Maybe I'm only going to be able to play it for 10. At least then you give me an option where I don't feel like I'm wasting my money. So those are the ideas that I'm actually kind of thinking about. But yeah, that's the shops in a nutshell. In the modes